in your underpants.
If only I had like shoes, socks, sweatpants, underwear to the brim.
Wait, do you have socks too?
No, unfortunately.
I've seen the socks.
I've seen them as well. I had
They're
a
very
pair.
nice.
I had a pair picked up at GameStop that were $4, and I was like, "These are kind of cheap, but I really don't need them."
You don't need them. No.
Yeah.
Also joining us, Ben Smith. What's
Hey.
going on, dude?
Just hanging out with my boys.
Hanging out with the boys. That's right. Anything new and exciting?
No, just been thinking about Brandon's Sony underpants. No,
Do they have PlayStation branded underwear
I wouldn't
out
be surprised. They do have PlayStation shoes now, by the way, or coming soon.
there? I saw that. No, they
they are?
already did. Here's the thing. I don't know anything about buying shoes. I'm sure Phil knows.
Phil?
Phil might know about this. There's like a lottery system for buying shoes. Brandon, do you know about this?
Phil said he was going to buy those PlayStation shoes.
Well, what I heard was you have to do, like, you get on the app and you sign up to be part of a lottery because they're so limited. And then eventually they'll just send you a message that's like, hey, you now have the ability to buy them if you want. And then other people are just like, hey, sorry, better luck next time. So
It's probably for like really limited release of shoes. So that's interesting.
You saying that's for these PlayStation specifically?
I think that's a thing in the shoe world.
Wow.
Because I know that like, I think those PlayStation shoes are through Nike, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
they
think
are.
that's a thing that Nike does that's like built into their app is the shoe lottery.
Did you say Nike?
Nike. Whatever.
Do you say Nike though?
I don't know what it is. Is it Nike or is it Nike?
It's Nike.
I think it is Nike because that's like what their commercials say.
It is Nike.
But I have heard people
It's
say
Nike.
Nike seriously, and I've always wondered if they were being serious or not. And that's what I was like, is he saying Nike ironically or not?
I truly don't know. I think I usually say Nike, but I don't talk about shoes that often to have the correct frame of mind.
I can understand that.
Also, Italian dressing.
See, that's different.
That's
though.
just stupidity.
That's just dumb.
That's not a matter of misunderstanding. It's just stupid.
Well, I mean, you missed a letter in Nike, so
That's fine.
it's
It
okay.
happens.
It's okay.
Okay, technically he didn't because Nike would be. Never mind. I'm not defending this.
It doesn't even make sense.
It's like the Wii. WII.
I think that phonetically makes sense, though. This is Adventure Mode. This is your weekly gaming podcast from Handsome Phantom. Handsome Phantom is a website, handsomephantom.com. Check it out. There's new content there 5 days a week. And this is one of the shows there. We do a couple different shows. Well,
do.
mainly just two. I guess that is a couple still.
That's a couple, yeah.
Our other show is a PlayStation
That's
VR
technically
show.
exactly a couple.
I always get that confused because some people say, oh, yeah, I'll be there in a couple minutes. But normally they don't mean two. At least I don't think two in my mind. I just think any number less than 5 when I hear a couple.
See, that's when I use the word few.
Few.
When it's 3 or more, and under 5.
Yeah.
So 3, 4, or 5.
I would like to be in a couple with somebody that's only 2 people and not 3.
I understand the word couple. It's just when used in certain contexts, I don't think two.
People use it incorrectly, is what you're saying.
We have a PlayStation VR show. It's called Into the Deep, and it's hosted by Benny here, Benny Boy, our friend Philip, and myself. It's a great time. It's every other week, and there's a new episode coming this Wednesday.
Woo! I'm looking forward to recording that one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hopefully, well, not hopefully, we will be talking about Moss.
Yep.
Big game coming out this week that a lot of people are really excited for. So that's it. That's it for the plugs.
That's it.
And that's it for the entire show. We'll see you next week.
See
Let's wrap it up.
See you later.
It's gonna be a little bit of a shorter show this week.
Yeah.
Get the plugs in and then cut it out.
So, Brandon, I'm a little offended because before we started this show,
Mm-hmm.
I was wearing a flannel all day, and then I was grilling outside, and I didn't want my flannel to smell like grill. So I took it off, and I have this
By
undershirt.
the way, that's ridiculous because grill smell is one of the best smells
I
ever.
do like it. Not all the time, though.
Yeah.
So, and then I asked if I looked okay, and you said I looked like fucking Maroon 5. What the hell does that mean?
I don't know, dude. It's just the bright color and the white V-neck.
I get it. You need a lot more
I hate
tattoos.
Maroon 5.
Dude, Maroon 5's not that bad.
Dude, they had a couple hits. A
I
couple
hate the
good
guy's
ones.
voice, actually, I think.
That's
most
a problem.
of all.
That's a
Because he's so
problem.
handsome.
You like his voice?
He's so handsome.
His voice is the problem, or I'm the problem?
No, it's a problem. It's a problem that you don't like his voice, and they also exist. I don't have a problem with you not liking his voice.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like Maroon 5 and we're trying to convince you to, all the reasons we're saying, if you don't like his voice, just aren't going to do it.
I feel like Maroon 5 is like music for like middle-aged women that are in poor relationships. It just gets them fucking wet when they hear Adam Levine's voice. What do you think?
Adam Levine.
That's That's a take I've never heard.
I like it.
I feel like
I like
it's
it.
not for us.
I don't know. When I was in
Like,
college,
the reason
I used to
the
listen to
wetness
Maroon
factor-
5 and Red Hot Chili Peppers all the
You
time.
need to be a little wet pen. The reason I say that is because Adam Levine, he was like rated like the sexiest man of all whatever,
I can't get on board with that.
and I don't know. Here's the thing: as a straight man, I feel like I can still judge
Yeah.
the sexuality of a man. Adam Levine's not doing anything for me.
Agreed.
More of a David Beckham kind of guy.
I don't
Oh.
even know what he looks like. Is he good?
Look him up.
Look him up. Check him out.
Yeah, check it out. Peep it.
It's the only advice I can give you.
Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to tell for yourself.
That's,
He plays soccer. He did, I guess, from what I hear.
Oh, wasn't that country dude the sexiest man? Blake Shelton.
Probably.
It doesn't work for me either.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Dad bod.
It's George Clooney or nothing.
George Clooney.
You know,
I feel like that's
if you gave George
get that
Clooney
tattooed right now.
like 5 consecutive years, sexiest man of the year, I'd be like fine with it.
Here's the thing: my old roommate Ian had a saying about George Clooney. He said, "George Clooney, he's the fine wine. He keeps getting better with age."
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He just. The question is, to what extent does he continue to look
I don't
better?
even know how old he is.
He could be 100 for all we know.
He could. It's like
Wow.
a trapped in time kind of thing.
And there's no way for us ever to find this out.
No,
in fact,
Okay, we can find out what the internet says, but that doesn't mean it's true.
yeah, right. Did you see his birth
You
certificate?
can't verify anyone's
Yeah.
actual date of
His
birth
birth.
unless you go back in
Did
time.
you see it? I didn't.
Yeah.
So, Brandon,
Yes,
how are you doing this week?
I'm doing well.
I feel like I haven't seen you this week.
Yes.
You stopped by yesterday to pick up Call of Duty.
Cockadoodle. Yes.
And so, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a busy week. I've been out a lot.
Did you play Cockadoodle any?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah, I played for like 3 or 4 hours. So I've been really enjoying that. I could talk a little bit more about that later, but I've been doing a lot of non-gaming stuff this week. Just like going out and having fun.
So, there's something you started to touch on pre-show
Yeah.
that I wanted you to talk about because I feel like it's gaming related, sort of.
Yeah.
You did an escape room today.
Yeah. It was kind of on a whim. I was just laying in my bed, and my brother was like, "Hey, do you want to go to this escape room thing? We're gonna leave in like less than 30 minutes." And I'm like, "Okay."
Why not?
Yeah, I was like, "I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing if I don't." So I did that. One of the local places. We got a couple places around here, but I went in there, and it was really interesting. I didn't really know what to expect, but we went in there, and it was kind of like supposed to be like a scary vibe. Like there was bodies hanging from the ceiling and stuff.
Whoa.
And like there was like creepy audio playing, and there was like blood on the walls and stuff supposedly.
The really interesting part about that is that the same owners have one here in town,
Yeah.
and it's like you're trying to steal a trophy.
It's like sports
a
related,
football
right?
trophy.
Really?
It's not scary.
That's
at all.
lame.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, there was like an old looking like saw machine type thing in there for cutting meat, butchering meat or whatever. So it was just interesting, and there was like Halloween props of like arms and shit, whatever. But no, it was really cool. As soon as I walked in there, because from the outside, I didn't know what the theme was gonna be. I had heard that this place had like an Alice in Wonderland themed one or whatever.
Ooh,
which
Holly would love that.
would have been interesting. I don't know though. So I didn't know going into it anything about it. So we go in, and it's like this scary, weird theme. They handcuffed us, which was interesting. We had an odd amount of people, so everybody else was handcuffed to someone else, and I was handcuffed to myself, which is a strange metaphor for my life.
Right.
Being handcuffed to myself. But no, yeah. So we went in there, and as soon as I walked in there, I was like instantly like Resident Evil 7. Like as soon as I walked in there, I was like, this. I kind of felt uneasy. It wasn't like super scary or anything, but it was just weird. And because there is that one part with like the escape room in the new Resident Evil. But no, we did that. It was really cool.
Now, it's a lot of puzzles and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I guess you're trying to escape the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, no, exactly. So like we were in this room, and it was me and 2 other people, and we're just like looking around, right? And we see some shit that doesn't make sense, like X=1 on the wall, or like an arrow pointing here. And we found some flashlights, and then we eventually found this like hidden key, and this unlocked something else. And we had to weigh this jar that had an eyeball in it, and that opened up another thing. And then we got our handcuffs off, and yeah, it it was really interesting. And then we were separated from the other people that were in our group, and there were like these ropes on the wall. We didn't know what to do, so we started pulling them, and it controlled something on the other side. It was like a ball maze that we controlled, and we had to like talk over the wall to the other people to control it.
Nice.
And that opened the door between us.
That's
so
really cool.
yeah, it was definitely really interesting. Yeah, I'd definitely do it again. It was interesting. Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it, but
I saw a thing on Reddit. This was a long time ago, but it was like Ask Reddit or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like, people who work at escape rooms, what things have you seen people do inside of
yeah.
them? Because they monitor you
Yeah.
while you're
Yeah.
in there. And some people were like, oh yeah, someone just started like ripping up the couch trying to find a clue, like just destroying shit. Some people were just engaging in intercourse. And they said that there's an intercom that the people monitoring, they were just like, hey, and they just stopped. Like,
yeah, you know
That'd be a little awkward.
that definitely happened. I mean, this one was pretty cool. I'm
this is
sure
what you were doing.
It happened?
Yeah.
This is what
You
happened.
just said that definitely happens.
No. I'm sure that happens.
Yeah, of course.
But no, yeah. This one was really cool. I'm sure they could definitely be more intense than this one was. Like, I don't know.
See,
By law, they have to be like, oh, here's the exit. You know, you could leave if you fucking want to, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So
we're still gonna keep you fucking handcuffed though. Permanently.
right, yeah.
Forever.
There was a walkie-talkie, and you can get like hints and shit if you were having issues. So that was nice, but I'm sure they could definitely be more intense than the one I was in.
So what's interesting is they've done some different video game themed escape rooms that I've seen, and one that was really interesting to me is that the Zero Escape series, which is like 999 and Zero Time Dilemma, stuff like that. They did one that was themed like that, which is so cool because the whole point of those games is their escape room type challenges. And they did one, but it was only like they did in like New York and LA, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think they've done a Legend of Zelda one as well.
That'd be
that
great.
also sounds super cool.
It's honestly really interesting because some of the stuff was more obvious, but then one of them was there was like something written on this mirror. It said something about like listening or something. And so we had found out that the audio didn't have any sort of clues in it, but there was like knocking in the background of the audio. So if you counted the knocking was like one of the combinations for this thing.
Oh.
So it was like, it's just really interesting how, you know, some of them could be easier, but some of them were like way more complex. It was definitely cool. And then there was like stuff written on. We had like normal flashlights, but then like black light flashlights. So there was like black light stuff written in different places that you had to go find or like lift shit up and stuff. It was cool.
Yeah.
So
That sounds really neat. I'd
Yeah.
like to do it someday. We should Handsome Phantom team building exercise.
That's right.
well, that's what I was saying. Shit, if people want to pay me to lock them in a room, and if they think there's a way to get out that's clever, shit, give me $50. I'll lock you in a dark room. We'll pretend like I made something.
How much was it for
It's
you?
like $20.
$20.
Yeah.
And was it like an hour or
Yeah. Yeah,
so? That's
you had
not terrible.
You had an hour to finish it. It was interesting.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
So
Nice. Ben, have you escaped any rooms recently?
I've never done one of those. No, I would like
Ever?
to.
Yeah, I
have you wanted to escape any rooms recently?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. It's impossible sometimes to escape rooms in my profession.
Unfortunately, you can't ask for hints with those. You know, like how do I get out of here?
How do I get this guy with bad breath to stop talking to me
Yeah.
really closely?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can't do that so much.
Dang it.
Ben, anything new with you
You
that
know,
you'd like to share with the show?
I'm really hammering down on this new business. We're
Oh yeah.
should be getting in final stock and supply this week, so we should have an opening date probably within the next couple weeks. So we're opening up a cigar bar and speakeasy, lots of good booze and cigars. So
Sounds amazing.
I'm pretty excited for it, but I'm just like with all the other stuff I have going on and trying to do that too. It's just kind of head down, keep working.
Nice.
My life is pitifully boring because of that.
Head down,
Although
ass
it's
out.
probably not actually really boring, but I feel like I don't, do anything exciting. But I do.
Head down, ass out.
Head down, ass out. That's
That's
truer words have never been said.
That's basically how I try to live my life.
damn, dude.
Okay, let's go ahead and we'll move on to the first segment.
Name that review score.
Name that review score. It's back. It's part of the show where we talk about review scores of games. we're in a dry season right now because there's just not a lot of exciting games to guess on. But we do have some to go over from previous weeks. And Ben, it's funny we have you back because we had you on 2 weeks ago. We had you guess on a game that now we can finally see what the scores are.
Is it Metal Gear?
It is Metal Gear Survive.
Thank God. I've been checking OpenCritic because I want to see how it's done, and I'm excited that it's finally there.
What's interesting is that on OpenCritic.com, it's still listed under upcoming for some reason. So someone at OpenCritic hasn't updated it or something.
Right.
And it doesn't say the score, the average, until you click on it. But we do have the final score.
Okay.
Brandon, you guessed a 72. And Ben and I both guessed a 76. The final score is in. It is a 67. Brandon,
wins it.
you are now at 3, and I'm at 2. You're in the lead.
Very nice.
It's been a while.
It feels good to be back. It's probably been almost a year. Honestly, it's been so long I've been behind.
So
I haven't seen any discussion about the game, and I'm curious if my prediction is correct that it might be an okay game, but people are harder on it because they know the legacy.
it's interesting looking at the critical scores that have come in because only 2 big sites, 2 to 3 sites I've seen actually have scored it. So the 3 big ones I see here, and one of them not as big, Push Square gave it an 8 out of 10. IGN gave it a 6.5, and GameSpot gave it a 6. So definitely, and there's of course a bunch of other reviews. The lowest score I'm seeing is Trusted Reviews, gives it a 50 out of 100. So none of those are. It's so hard with game reviews because the scale is all screwed up.
Right.
Because people assume that anything that is below an 8 is terrible, right?
Right.
So to me, 67 is definitely, of course, seems to be more on the poor side, but
Yeah.
it could speak to select people, right? Brandon, have you seen any? What's the vibe you're getting on this game? I know that you are following online stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot about it. I have been. I did see a few things that were before the actual score came out, and the consensus that I'm seeing roughly is that it feels like they have the right to put something new in the Fox engine, but like it just feels kind of rushed, kind of like what we saw before, and just like you're just slapping something out there just to have a cash grab.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm seeing. And much like when we did try it out, the menu system is just complicated and doesn't really add anything to the game, I don't think. And it just feels like a half-baked idea.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting to me that Konami has shown time over and over again that they just don't give a fuck about what people think about them.
Right.
Especially, I mean, the thing that a lot of people forget about Konami is that in Japan, that's not, gaming isn't one of the only things they do. They have like gyms and things like that. So gaming is like just a part of their business. It's just interesting to me that they're so tone deaf that their first post Metal Gear release isn't something that's like
Phenomenal.
an easy win.
Right.
For example, an easy win, and it could be a couple of different things, but like easy win, remake Metal Gear Solid 3 in the Fox engine.
Yeah.
Now, that would take considerable more work than I'm assuming Metal Gear Survive would take.
yeah,
Even something as simple as, hey, the Metal Gear Solid collection that's on PS3 is now available on PS4.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to remaster the games. Just
Remap
up-res
it.
them,
Yeah.
and which I guess could, in some sense, is a remaster, and then put on PS4. Easy
Right.
win. People wouldn't be able to say no to that, despite the fact that everyone hates Konami.
Right.
I'm just surprised that this would be. This just feels like dudes in a boardroom that have no grasp on what people. They're like, well, Walking Dead's pretty popular.
Yeah.
I don't know why these Japanese people have this.
I don't know why
this
they have
voice,
a southern accent.
but and so they made a zombie game.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It would have been way racist if you had used a Japanese accent.
That's true.
I'm glad you went southern instead of. Because you're
Right.
closer to southern than you are Japanese.
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I don't. There's an easy way that they could bring somewhat. We'll just say positive favor, not
Right.
even good favor.
Yeah. Yeah.
To them. And it's funny because they even went as far as do you guys know what pachinko is?
No.
Sounds really familiar.
So pachinko
Is that game they play on Price is Right?
It's sort of like that with the pegs.
Yeah.
So pachinko is huge in Japan. It's like gambling. Like there's huge pachinko parlors, and it's basically like that. The ball falls down, and you try to get good score. I don't know exactly how it works, but Konami has a shit ton of pachinko machines. They did a Metal Gear Solid 3 pachinko machine, and they remade all of the cutscenes in the Fox engine. So it looks like a Metal Gear Solid 3 remaster, but it's just a stupid pachinko machine.
Yeah.
So that just pissed people off because they're watching the cutscenes like, I remember that moment. Like, there's like extensive parts of that game that look amazing, but it's on this stupid fucking pachinko machine screen, and that's it.
That's bummer.
They did the same thing with a Castlevania, and I think during some press release they described it as like a sexy pachinko experience or something. It's real bad.
That's bad. That's really bad. Yeah, you would have imagined they could have done something simple and quick to get back in people's good graces, or at least not get in bad graces. Maybe worse, but I think this is probably going to end up hurting them more than it helps.
Say they were pulling in Nintendo, but Nintendo's been pretty good recently.
It's true.
So what do you guys think? What do you think Konami does from here? I mean, I can't imagine. This game probably didn't cost them much to make, so they probably don't need the sales to be very high in order to make money. But with big businesses like this, it's all about those big profits. Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, what do you think Konami does from here?
A lot of companies are doing the remakes. I honestly would not be surprised. Even if it wasn't the first thing they did, would not surprise me if that's what we see next.
Yeah. What are their big lines? I'm drawing a blank on some of their big...
So one of the main things they put out, Pro Evolution Soccer, is still... I don't think it's as big as FIFA.
It's not as big in the States either. I know it's bigger elsewhere.
So they have Castlevania.
Yep.
They have Metal Gear, obviously. They have Silent Hill.
Yep.
Which they've already canceled, of course, Silent Hills.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else they've done.
I'm trying to think of any series that's not a yearly series that people want more of right now. It's not Castlevania. I mean, people who like Castlevania really like Castlevania, but I don't hear anybody crying for a Castlevania sequel or another game.
No, here's the thing. I think that people do want a Castlevania, specifically like the creator is now doing Bloodstained, which was Kickstarted and is huge. A lot of people are waiting anxiously for that. So it'd be interesting. I wonder if Konami's kind of pulling a Capcom approach to this, as far as you saw Keiji Inafune leave Capcom to make his own Mega Man game.
Right.
Mighty No. 9, huge Kickstarter success, come out to be a total dud.
Tanked.
And now we see Capcom say, okay, fuck y'all, and come out. Now they have Mega Man 11, and a lot of people are really hyped on it.
Right.
I wonder if they're waiting to see what the response to Bloodstained is, and then potentially seeing what they can do.
Problem is, if they wait, they're behind the curve, way behind the curve already.
Yeah,
that's true.
So they don't start development on something until after, essentially reviews are in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing that they've really done recently is they did Super Bomberman for Switch.
They should probably just start buying up really good properties from other companies and doing them.
Though, the thing, I'm surprised that they're even really still in the games market, period.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it would make sense if they don't want to do it, sell off their IPs to people. And I mean, especially something I think that like Silent Hills could be sold for a lot of money and could do really well with somebody else at the helm.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Okay, let's go ahead. We'll move on.
Sorry, I have like zero Konami love or experience.
That's fine. I'm looking for your business.
I know.
Sense here. So,
all right,
you're good. Okay, moving on. Here we go.
You done fucked up.
That's right. You done fucked up. It's part of the show we talk about who fucked up in the gaming industry. Somebody always fucks up, and we're going right along the same lines here. Konami.
Oh.
Let me know if you guys saw this. This comes from IGN. Here's the headline. Metal Gear Survive makes you pay $10 for a new save if you don't want to delete your existing character. I'll read a little bit of this article here. Metal Gear Survive will cost $10 if you don't want to delete your first. Oh wait, each new character. Sorry, I missed a sentence because the way it's put on the screen. Each new character you create in Metal Gear Survive will cost $10 if you don't want to delete your first one. Keeping your existing character essentially means creating another save file for your new one. And IGN has confirmed that the new slot costs 1,000 survival coins. You can buy 1,150 coins for $10. Metal Gear Survive's microtransactions were confirmed last month, but not all details of what you could purchase with them, save files for example, were explained. And then they're saying it's out now on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Wow.
There's a lot of things that I wouldn't pay for in addition to some, like microtransactions. There's a lot of things I would consider. That's not one of them. Mm-hmm. It's just, it feels dirty and cheap.
It's interesting to me because I'm just thinking about, like, I think World of Warcraft, you can only have so many slots. Right. And for some reason, we've accepted that for MMOs. Maybe, I don't know.
Is it so many slots, or is it just like a new character you have to pay?
In Metal Gear?
Yeah.
All I know is what I just read you. So it sounds like you have your one character slot that you start the game. If you want another one, your options are to delete your character and start again, brand new, or pay the $10.
Well, see, that's
to
where
have two characters.
Yeah, that's where it's a little bit different though, because like in World of Warcraft, you can have 5,
or
whatever. You know what I mean? So if that's actually the case, then it's not like, hey, you want another character. You can only have one. It's like, no, you have 5. But that's where I feel like it's kind of different. Is that, have we accepted that? Yes, like even in Diablo, I think you could do that.
Right.
But if it's just one, then that just seems silly.
It's like if you want to experiment with one, you
Yeah.
can't even do that.
Yeah.
Whereas like you're saying with World of Warcraft, okay, you have 5, but one's got to be your least favorite.
Yeah.
So you could always get rid of one.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like, imagine if Destiny was like, hey, here you get one character slot if you want to play as
a Titan, and
Titan.
you already have a Hunter. You have to either delete what you've played or fucking...
Now,
it's just dirty.
I think
it's just not good.
I think there's not a ton of outrage about this because a lot of people are buying the game.
I was gonna say, nobody cares about the game.
But yeah, it's completely. I'm surprised that they would have the gall to do something like this. Now, tell me, what do you guys think about this? Let's play a little devil's advocate. Well, the game only costs $39.99, so paying extra for certain things makes sense.
Sure.
What do you think about that?
Things.
I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm playing devil's advocate.
I understand your position. For certain things, absolutely, I can understand. I don't have a problem with if you want to play a game or want to make a game that has transactions in it for substantive things or even non-game enhancing things. But like a save slot, I don't know.
That's like taking one of the most basic things.
Right.
Like
there's games that have 3 save slots on them that I've never understood why you would ever need a second save slot.
Dude, I'm waiting for it. When's the day when you have to pay to adjust your brightness? You like turn the subtitles on and off. It's like 99 cents.
Metal Gear Survive 2.
Right.
I guess it comes down to microtransactions being additive or taking away. This clearly just is like, oh well, we could take this away and charge for it.
Yeah.
And that's
it.
That's it. It has nothing to do. There's nothing added, only removed.
Nothing at all.
So Konami, you done fucked up.
Big time.
I'm curious about what the other microtransactions are in this game.
I was thinking about that too, because that was something that when we were playing, we kind of felt that it kind of set itself up to feel that way. Like, oh, you want more fences? You could pay for more fences and have them. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing where it seemed like a model that would easily be able to snake in some microtransactions. So
I'm always curious about. I think I always prefer and I think a lot of people would prefer this, like microtransactions where it's like, you know exactly what you're buying. You spend the money, you get this.
Right.
I think Fortnite's that way.
It is.
You can buy the coins and then you can buy specifically one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you can also buy like loot boxes.
Or
in
you
that
could,
too,
yeah.
but
yeah, you can do like the battle pass or
lava
whatever.
boxes or whatever.
The battle pass, I've always respected that. From what I've looked at it, I think it's a cool idea. That's like, hey, if you want all these extra skins and stuff, here's a fun way to unlock it. And It's $10. Now here's the question
It's
about
only $10.
isn't it $10? Is
I
it
thought it was
10 or
more than
20?
that.
I think it might be $10. I'm not positive. So the thing with battle passes is there is stuff that you can unlock for free on the top tier, but you still have to level. So unless you make it to
Right.
level 100, you're not going to get everything that's from your battle pass.
Right.
And it's also per season. So a new season just started. So if you want the stuff in this season's battle pass, you're going to have to pay another $10. So it definitely is interesting, though, especially being that you can see exactly what you're getting. And I agree with Dustin, is like last season, I was like level 23, and I was like, oh, well, if I just wait till the end of the season, I know what I'm going to get.
Right.
So if I don't like what I've gotten up until what I've leveled to, then I don't have to buy the battle pass. And if I do, I'd say, hey, I'm going to get all of this at once.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's definitely interesting. So
Yeah.
It's I guess I understand the random element, because then it encourages you to keep putting money instead of
Yeah.
like if you're trying to get that one thing.
Right.
It worked on me for Overwatch when I wanted that stupid Diva skin that looks like the Hot Rod car.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I wanted it so bad, and I had a bunch of free loot boxes and I used them up, didn't get it, and then I spent $5 and I still didn't get it, and then I played one round and got another loot box, and then I got it. But the desire for that one skin made me put in money.
yeah.
So, and I'm pretty strong-willed when it
Yeah.
comes to that. So I can't imagine what other people are like.
Yeah.
As far as, but what's interesting is that I don't know if it's just our personal circle here. We don't really spend money on that. Any of us.
Yeah.
I think there's a large contingent of people who don't, but the people who do spend a lot of money on it. I think that's the biggest difference.
I agree with that too, because you see like for instance, Fortnite, the new season come out, and you see people that are level 100 because they bought the battle pass and they bought stars to level themselves up through the ranks till they can get 100, which means they have everything for the season already, and it's like the first week. It's just it's crazy. So
Yeah. Okay, that's it for You Done Fucked Up. Let's go ahead. We'll go through the little bit of news we have. Brandon, this one's for you. Very, very, very special. And that is Burnout Paradise. Finally, actually announced is getting a remaster.
very nice.
So this is from the PlayStation blog, which it's also coming out on Xbox One, PC. But it is going to be in 4K, 60 FPS on PS4 Pro. And I think it includes all the DLC as well. So yeah, this is exciting. This is EA's first remaster, which is cool.
Yeah.
And Burnout is a series that has been gone this entire generation.
Right.
And we're finally seeing our first Burnout game, even though it's a remaster. Brandon, does this get you hot and heavy?
It does. RIP Criterion.
Yeah.
EA took them out back and put them down.
They're still doing stuff. They're not. They didn't
Really?
close them, I don't think. No, I think that they're like a support studio.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, soon.
They
like
crippled them.
I'm like
Yeah.
soon. It's yeah, right.
Take them out back and crippled
Yeah,
them.
yeah, exactly. But no, I'm very excited for this. This game, I've always been a Burnout fan. I remember having some of them on PS2. And Burnout Paradise was one of the best racing games that I'd ever played. I remember playing it in beta, actually.
Oh.
And playing a shit ton, like there was like early access where you could like do these jumps on the beaches and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was really cool because this game is obviously not very realistic, because you like can do barrel rolls and shit with cars. But it was really cool. The cars always felt really good. The crashing for the time was really cool. Like the animations, it felt like you were actually crashing a car. And I remember thinking that this is what the future is going to be like. And now a lot of games still don't even have it. But anyway, you don't have any experience with this game at all?
Well, what's interesting is I don't have a lot of experience with the series, but I did play Burnout 3 Takedown
Oh, nice.
That
quite
was,
a bit.
It was amazing.
And that's the one
It was
I
amazing.
feel like is awesome.
Yeah.
Mainly because I played a little bit of Paradise, but I wasn't super into the open world aspect of
Yeah.
it. I just wanted to be like, hey, here's a menu and here's the different things. Select what you want to do.
Right.
Go.
Yeah.
Instead of having to drive everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, it's there's something that's so cool about like being in a race and you like see this like pre-made barrel roll thing and you're like you're going like super fucking fast, smashing through shit and like getting near misses to get more nitrous and shit, and you just do a barrel roll and you keep going, and
Yeah.
it's seriously really awesome. And the DLC I remember being pretty cool. Like there's some license shit they have, like the Ghostbusters car, and they added bikes, and they added a whole nother island at some point, like that was a part of a DLC. So it's definitely really awesome, and I am excited to replay it for sure. So
Ben, have you played any of the Burnout games?
Yeah, we used to play it a lot. My roommates and I, right after I graduated from college, I think it was. And yeah, we had a blast. We'd take turns and do all sorts of crazy stuff.
It's that
Well,
crash
couldn't
mode,
say-
dude.
What was
The
Yeah,
crash
it
mode
really
so
is.
I,
Yeah,
sweet.
I was just gonna say that, where you like try and do as much damage as you
Yeah.
possibly can. That's not in Paradise, but
I don't know if it
I
can be
remember playing that.
recreated for me, the experience, because that experience was like very this time in my life with these people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can recreate that experience, but I'd be willing to try it.
I remember when I first played it, I had to have been in like 3rd or 4th grade. Does that make sense? Is that time
I
frame?
don't
Time
remember
frame?
the year it
Brandon,
came out.
match up.
Yeah, I don't really
But
remember.
anyway-
I remember playing on PS2. I don't know if we got it.
You're a kid, especially as like a young boy. You just want to blow shit up. Like
Yeah.
that's like the coolest, best
Right.
thing. I remember like, you know, you'd go down a hill and it would fly you up in the air just into a complete intersection filled
Yeah.
with people, and it was like there was a gas truck that you tried to
Yeah.
hit
Yeah.
for maximum
Yeah.
explosion.
That's how my buddy Brandon and I, after, well, I don't remember when it was, but Crackdown, the first Crackdown, you could go into that mode where you could just like spawn anything wherever you wanted. We would just like set up insane tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just ridiculous things.
Yeah.
That's right.
Definitely really awesome for sure.
Side note: did you ever play a game on PlayStation 2 called Stuntman?
No, I remember it, but I didn't play it.
That sounds really familiar.
I played it. There used to be you could like create a course where you could mess with stuff. I always remember playing at my neighbor's house. It was cool. It's
Nice.
kind of like this, but not really. Anyway, yeah, the remaster is coming. It's cool that it's gonna have that 4K 60. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere it's gonna be native 4K 60 on Xbox One X, some version of 4K
Yeah.
on PS4 Pro, but both of them will be hopefully 60 FPS locked would be nice.
Right.
But we'll see about that. But no, it's cool that that's coming, and it's interesting to see EA get into some remasters, of course. Okay,
Let's see how they can mess them up.
right? Yeah.
for real.
Adding loot boxes.
Oh,
to
and a quick note, Brandon, you had mentioned about Criterion being put out to pasture. EA has all but done that. They, I believe, did DLC for Battlefield 1. They did, I think, some of the stuff on Battlefront 2, and that X-Wing VR mission they did. So the last time the last game they put out that was just like, hey, this is a Criterion game was Rivals.
Okay.
Was Rivals any good?
I didn't
Need
play
for
it.
Speed Rivals?
Yeah. The
Um,
new Rivals.
I believe that one was supposed to be. That's the one that just came out.
No, that is damn, there's so many Need for Speed
Yeah,
games. It's not
it's all blurred
Rivals
to me right
came
now.
out in 2013.
Isn't that the one that you had?
No, I believe I had.
Payback, maybe. I don't know. There's so fucking many of them. I'm just confused.
No, wait. Rivals is the one. Okay, yeah, you're
Okay.
right. Rivals is the one I had that
I-
was like a PS4 launch.
Yeah.
title.
So I remember people saying that Rivals was decent. It scored better than the next two, and I like the just Need for Speed, whatever 2015, and the newer
Oh, the one
ones.
that had the live action
yeah,
in it.
yeah. I like that one, and then the new one still didn't score as well with all the loot box shit or whatever. So
Yeah. Okay. Next news piece here. We'll keep this one quick, but I have to throw it in here from GameSpot. PS4's Persona 3 and Persona 5 dancing games will support PlayStation VR.
That's crazy.
So there isn't really any details about it, but there are 2 new trailers out, one for each game. One of them has your best girl, Makoto, Brandon. And the other one is the robot girl from Persona 3. I don't know her name. But New trailer's out. It doesn't show any of the VR functionality. But what do you guys think about this little Persona VR action?
When I think about it, I think like DDR, which I don't think it can be that based on the hardware involved.
Yeah.
But that's what it makes me think of instantly.
I'm game for any sort of VR experiences. If you could
Yeah.
tack on something that's VR,
Yeah.
great.
I have
Love
a
it.
theory about this VR mode. What I would love, the best case scenario is that you can actually just play the game in VR. So if neither one of you have played
No, I
Persona, the
haven't.
Persona dancing,
No.
but basically it's sort of like DDR in that you press a button when like there's like orbs. Okay, I apologize to the audio listeners, but there's orbs that come out of the center of the screen and they go towards the edge, and at the edge there's like up, left, and down
Yeah.
on one side, and on the other side there's triangle, circle, cross.
Oh, okay.
And so as they go through, you press the buttons when they line up.
Yeah.
Those specific buttons. And so I feel like it would be possible to have that like ring or whatever, that interface in VR, and they'd be able to see them getting down
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Which would be so cool. I thought about this. This is sort of a different conversation, which I'd love to have on Into the Deep as well. But a lot of VR experiences are like, hey, we are striving for some form of realism, even if it's like sci-fi
Yeah.
realism. But a lot of these VR experiences haven't done anything that's like, hey, this is anime. There are a couple out there. Don't get me wrong. There are those experiences, but a lot of them are more realistic.
Yeah,
I'm
they
really
are.
intrigued by this idea of, hey, this game's going to make you feel like you're in a cartoon or you're in an anime
Right.
or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Counting Plus a little bit.
yeah, Accounting Plus or Job Simulator
Yeah.
is one like that. But there's definitely a leaning towards that serious
Yeah.
Yeah.
side.
For sure.
So, okay.
I wish I could say it interested me, but having never played a Persona dancing game,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
These games are not for you, Ben,
I would imagine not.
unless you play the Persona games.
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
They're not for most people.
Yeah.
I have the platinum in Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and I'm assuming because they're re-releasing that as part of the special edition, you get Persona 4 Dancing All Night on PS4.
Right.
So there will be 3 Persona dancing games on PS4. I'll buy all of them. I'll buy the best version
Yeah.
of it, which will include a collection, I'm assuming, and I will platinum them all.
Nice.
What do you think about that?
Wow.
I've not platinumed
Dedication.
an actual Persona game. I want to. They're really hard platinums,
That'd
though.
be that'd be
They
tough.
require multiple playthroughs of a 70-hour game.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
No.
The dancing ones, though, not too bad. It's really fun. Brandon, I tried to show you Persona dancing once, and you were drunk, and you just made fun of it relentlessly the entire time.
He would have done that if he was sober.
That sounds
to be
like
fair.
I would have done that when I was sober as well.
See, Brandon, but you've become more interested in waifus since then.
I have.
So,
I'm interested, and I
something to think about.
and I do.
maybe?
I'm not gonna buy it. I'll peep it.
You did buy Persona 5 and not
I did.
finish it.
And I
You
played
didn't
like
even get to Futaba, you bitch.
dude, I played like 30 some hours. That's more
a
than
lot.
enough to play of like any game.
Yeah.
And feel like I did okay.
Okay, well, you've put your 30 hours into Overwatch and Monster Hunter World, so time to put them out.
Right.
That's enough to play of any game.
No.
Just using your words here.
No, they just need to consistently interest me. That's the problem.
That's
Wow.
Now that's something that's difficult to do. Okay,
Speaking of Monster Hunter, I gotta get back into that.
Yes, so do I.
next one. This is a quick one. Way of the Passive Fist
Oh yeah.
has a launch day, and you'll be able to buy the game on March 6th. PS4, Xbox One, and PC. These are our pals, over at Household Games. Very excited to see them have this game release. They hold a special place in our heart since they were super kind to Brandon and I at the second PSX we went to. And it was kind of mutual. We showed interest in them, and they showed interest in us. And we've have a really nice relationship with them. And so it's amazing that the game Brandon and I played at PSX, not this last December, but December before, is like, I remember playing it then and like having a lot of feedback for them. I'm like, there's something here, but it's not here yet.
Yeah.
And now then playing it at PSX this year, and we have like a preview build of it right now.
Yeah.
It's really, really awesome.
Nice.
Ben, you haven't played it at all yet.
I have not. No, I didn't even play it at the booth because I was behind the camera.
Yeah.
At PSX, and it looks fun. I don't know if it's the type of game that if I didn't have any affiliation, I would see and be interested in.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I were to play it, I would like it.
So yeah, it's like a brawler. So
Yeah.
think, just for anyone out there that doesn't know what it is, it's a brawler. So think Ninja Turtles, like the old Super Nintendo arcade games, or like something like Streets of Rage. And so you're going around, and the thing is, normally in a
But it's not
brawler,
really a
you're
brawler.
brawling people, but not in this one. You are like dodging to the rhythm, and the goal is to make people tired, and so they like rest for a second, and then you just boink, poke them,
Yep,
and they fly off screen.
that's right.
And so it's dude, I meant to tell Jason this in our interview. He's the main guy developing the game. When we first saw the game is called Way of the Passive Fist. That went, the pun went totally over my head until after PSX this year.
I'm still so confused by that.
What? How it went over my head?
Yeah,
I'm just a fucking idiot, dude.
I guess I don't know.
I don't know how I didn't realize. And then I was like sitting there one day, like on my couch. It's like you know those times when you're not doing anything, you're just sitting there. I probably had a drink in my hand. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Like I
think
just thought it.
you sent it in the Slack. You were like, guys, do you realize that
You're like-
we're all like, yeah,
Like,
Way of the Pacifist.
You're like it's just like all the numbers are like going.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
way of the pacifist, way of the passive fist, way of the pacifist.
So yeah, it's an exciting one. We'll be reviewing it. handsomefam.com. Congrats to Jason and the team.
Yep.
We're very excited. Check it out.
I forgot there was a camera there. I just gave it a thumbs up.
Okay, the final news item is there is a new update to Fortnite. Fortnite Season 3 has started. And we have some of the patch notes. I have this from GameSpot's article up. So Battle Royale now runs at 60 FPS on consoles, and that's not just on PS4 Pro or Xbox One. And so that's also normal base consoles as well. And there used to be an uncapped frame rate mode that I had no clue existed. And if you prefer, which I don't understand who would prefer, there's of course a 30 FPS mode as well. Now, the key thing is here, this only applies to Battle Royale.
Right.
This does not apply to
Save the world.
Save the World.
Yeah, there's a lot more working parts in Save the World. I feel like with the amount of zombies,
AI.
Save
yeah,
the world is just, it's almost too much stuff.
yeah.
Well, that's what Brandon and I talked about when we first got the game, is that there's so many, and this doesn't even have to do with the technical about the frame rate, but there's all the systems
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's still in early access. Just overhaul that shit. Take it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simplify
And
it.
what's really funny is, like, compared to something like Monster Hunter that has really complex systems that I want to know more about, that just seems like something I don't give a fuck about. I don't know what it's doing. I don't want to know what it's doing, and I'm just doing it because I feel like I'm supposed to. Like, you know.
Well, I was playing with our buddy Christian last night, and we were playing Save the World. And at the end, you get your chests or your boxes or your llamas or whatever.
Yeah.
And you open them up, and it's like, here's this kind of XP, and then here's another kind of XP, and then here's a third kind of XP. And I'm like, what are all these? There's XPs for different parts of your that enhance different aspects of your fighting or your defense or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I would be fine with just like one set of XP and then a skill tree, and that's it. And it's got both of those things plus a billion others.
My main observation of Save the World is the core of the game, building stuff, fighting zombies. And it's a free-to-play game. So how do you monetize that?
Yeah.
So these extra systems feel like add-ons to monetize.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think you're probably right in some sense.
It was like, hey, we want to build this core game,
Yeah.
but we need a way to make money that's beyond just skins.
Right.
What do we give people in loot boxes that would make them want to pony up money?
Right.
So, anyway.
So anyway, yeah, I checked out the Battle Royale mode, and it's even on my regular PS4, on my non 4K TV, it's way noticeable, and it feels like the overall graphics are upgraded as well, but I don't know if that's true or not. But definitely
It can
the
make
frame
it
rate.
feel like that, the frame rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny. Before I even know that they win 60 frames a second, I was sitting there watching my brother play it, and I was like, something's happening here. I was like,
What is going on?
like,
You were
like
having a way the pacifist moment. You were like,
I was
"Whoa."
watching it, and you can even ask my brother. I swear to God, I was like, did they patch this or something that you know of? Because this frame rate is like way more consistent than I remember it. Like it felt completely different. And when you play it,
Yeah.
like a couple weeks ago, I was going so hard on it. Like I played it all week, every night, right? And it just definitely felt so different. Not even when I was playing it, like just looking at it, it felt completely better.
Yeah.
Just really better, and it was consistent as well. I don't want to say it was locked, and I don't know that it's locked, but I didn't remember even seeing like some more high action areas
Right.
getting like really bad dips, whereas
I'm-
before it was noticeable bad frame rate.
I'm pretty particular about those.
Really?
What? Frame
You're-
rates?
you're
Yeah.
particular about
Do,
frame
I'm very
rates?
particular
do you
about
even
frame
frame
rates.
rate?
I played just a tiny bit of one match, and I was extremely impressed.
Yeah.
Just because, and if you check out my show, the Colossus review on handsomephantom.com, I did a whole paragraph that's about the PS4 Pro modes and settings, and that's another one that the high frame rate mode is almost rock solid 60,
Right.
which is fantastic. Other games such as Monster Hunter have a high frame rate mode that really is like a max 45, maybe 50.
Yeah.
And then when you're in the thick of it, you're gonna see around
Dips.
closer to 30. So modes like that kind of piss me off.
Yeah.
And so Fortnite, though, again, I don't think it's locked necessarily, but it was strong enough that I was like, damn, this is
Yeah.
impressive.
Yep.
Yeah, and to even have that sort of performance on the normal PS4 is great. Not like I think it's an incredibly graphically intensive game, but still, I'm glad that they were able to achieve that on the normal PS4.
Right.
So
It's interesting too, looking at we're getting totally away from the patch notes, but that's totally fine because we don't have a lot of news. It's interesting looking at the progression of Fortnite and PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
Because Battlegrounds is out on console on Xbox One, and there's still not even a consistent 30, which Fortnite was in that place at
Right.
one point. But even Fortnite at its worst, I would not argue is, from what I've gathered, as bad as PUBG on Xbox One. And so you're seeing this game that is not only rapidly improving its technical aspects, but you're also seeing regular updates with new content.
Yeah.
And Brandon, you mentioned this the other
Dude.
day. You're seeing all these news articles about PUBG player base is dropping right now. The sales are they're still meteoric. Don't get me wrong, but the
Right.
sales are declining. There's going to be a mountaintop
Right.
to everything. But the player base, not only that, the player base is dropping off. And I think it's about the fact that they don't have that content to regularly come back to.
dude, don't sleep on Fortnite because they've been amazing with this. I agree with you. Like consistent patches, they've like engaged with the community. Like they always have the patch updates that are really well done, and they're even like, I don't know if you saw recently, they're like continually making overhauls to even like the very core basic way the guns work and everything like that. Like for a while they had like the guns could perform differently in this certain mode. Test it out because we're tweaking the entire gun system altogether. And they're continually adding new guns like every couple weeks. Like, these impulse bombs that launch you, and you can like launch yourself or other players and like shotgun people in the face. Like I've seen some crazy ass shit. It's insane. And they added Gatling guns, and they just added hand cannons and all this cosmetic shit if you're interested in it.
Right.
And there's events. It's just continual support has really launched this game to be something more than it was.
It's frustrating to me because I much prefer the moment-to-moment gameplay of PUBG. And it's not that I think that anything about Fortnite is bad. It's just they're totally different. They're the same rule set on a completely different type of game.
What do you think the biggest piece is that makes that difference?
I wish that in Fortnite I could lay down,
Okay.
and I wish there was more. I wish the map was bigger. I think it has to do with scale. It has to do with like,
You want the map in Fortnite to be bigger?
yeah.
I thought it was too big at one point.
I thought it was too small.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the problem we were having is that every time we tried to land, we were landing around 1 million people
Right.
and dying instantly.
Well,
now
I
they've
think
done
the
some things to fix that.
Right. I think the problem was that there weren't enough places with stuff to land. They've increased the amount of places with stuff on the map.
The other thing about
Places to hide, etc.
Fortnite it is a different type of precision.
Yes.
The precision in Fortnite is very much about building.
Yeah.
Whereas PUBG is more like shooter
Yeah.
precision, which I like a lot. Part of me wonders if I put more time into Fortnite, if the scales would even out a little
Right.
bit.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with that. The more time that I've been around Fortnite, the more I've realized how cool of the idea of the building and how complex watching some of these really, really
Yeah.
talented Fortnite players. Like some of the mechanics, how good it can actually be and how, it can be a more level of precision.
Anytime I
And-
watch somebody else like replay, it looks like a way more exciting match than I've ever played.
Well, no, exactly. And that's what's super cool is like if you put the time into it, it can be, really, really insane.
Yeah.
So
I think something that, just one more thing, because you were asking about why,
Yeah.
about PUBG and Fortnite, and I think this might be the biggest one, is that there are moments in PUBG where it's like you are scouting through this huge building and you don't know if anyone's there.
Yeah.
And you think you hear a footstep, but you're not sure. So you sit and you hide, and then you hear someone upstairs. And this can be like a 5-10 minute experience, right? Interaction.
Yeah.
Fortnite is much more like you don't have reason to sit around, and there's very much less like, oh, there's someone maybe sneaking around upstairs. There's some of it there, but it's not the same.
Maybe it's just, I don't know. I do feel that way.
yeah, I kind of feel that way too because it really depends on where you land. Like
Yeah,
for instance,
right.
if you go, there's some areas that are like just open and there's no reason to give a fuck about if there's somebody in this 2-story house. But if you landed in somewhere that people consistently land, like Tilted Towers, it's like a fucking war zone.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
there's like 4 or 5-story buildings, and there might be like 4 people, and you could hear them walking around and like coming up the steps, and you just sit there and maybe set a trap, or it's just.
It might have something to do with, and I don't even really know where I'm going with this. It might have something to do with Fortnite. A city might have 12 buildings,
Uh-huh.
whereas PUBG will have 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely different in the sense that buildings are way different and I don't even know how that correlates to loot. It just feels so different. I agree with you completely because it feels like there is literally always somewhere to go into in PUBG,
Right.
whereas Fortnite, a lot of times it feels like you're just like running through a field half the time.
Yeah.
And then there's like there'll be a cluster of houses and then there's field and then there's a cluster of houses, and whereas PUBG is like there's always like there might be a field, but there's always cluster. I don't know. The buildings are different.
Hey, so there's more patch notes, but I'd
Okay.
like to move on because I
Okay.
looked at the show time and it's been 58 minutes.
Wow.
Where did the time go?
We're into the wind.
I wanted to talk quickly about what we've been playing, so we'll try to do less than
Cool.
5 minutes a person.
Yeah, I don't have that long.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, cool.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Brandon,
Cool.
hit us with what you've been playing.
I have been playing Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Wow, the remaster.
Yes.
How's it treating you?
Good. I haven't really delved into the campaign at all. I've just seen like some of the beginning stuff. I've mostly been playing multiplayer. I do want to note on the incredibly heinous amount of gigabytes I had to shell out to get this piece of shit onto my console.
Yeah.
bet.
It was over 100 gigabytes to get both of the games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare Remastered itself, I think, was 74 gigabytes
Yeah.
just to get the fucking game. It was heinous. I had to wait for hours and hours and hours, and it's not because of my internet. Anyway, so that was a little upsetting because I wanted to play it more, but I had to wait. But no, it's really good. It's so awesome to be back in a simpler time, man. Seriously, and there's 3 kill streaks. You got your UAV, you got your airstrike, and you got your helicopter.
Yep.
Ta-da! It's fucking easy, right? It's so interesting being back into that. And I will say they did bastardize it a lot, though. Like, they added a ton of shit that originally wasn't into the game, which is fine to some extent, but, like, tons of these they're literally different weapons that weren't even in the game. All these crazy, wacky St. Patrick's Day skins and all this fucking player icons that are moving like they do in Black Ops 3 and stuff. And it's just, it's interesting, but I'm like, if I want the remaster, I want the pure experience.
Yeah.
And Modern Warfare was not one that was like fucking that frilly. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't have crazy ass skins. It had your red camo and your blue camo was like the fucking craziest it got. And I feel like it's just kind of weird with that. I mean, Black Ops 3, you have dancing emotes and shit, so it is a little wacky, right?
Yeah.
But with something like Modern Warfare, it's like you got your guy in a ghillie suit and a fucking sparkly ass glowy sniper rifle he's holding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, it's interesting, I guess. But no, they added melee weapons too, which is whatever. So it does feel really good, though. I will say that. It feels, I don't know, it just feels good. It's good to be back in those maps, because I had more experience with Modern Warfare 2, but I still had a lot of experience with that one as well. I don't like how you have to pay to get all the maps. I think that's fucking heinous.
Yeah.
If you want to pay to get DLC for the Infinite Warfare, I understand that. That's your game. But don't bastardize the game that you're trying to remaster me. Don't just make it Don Fuck Yo with all the skins and shit. Don't change it too much, because that's the point of, we want to play the game that it was. And just give me all the DLCs. I mean, it's an old game. Don't make me pay $15
Right.
for a game that is a remaster
Just the
that
second
I've
time I
already
purchased.
played, that's attached to a game that you really want to sell me.
Yeah.
So I would have paid for the special edition when I bought it, and then they're going to give you only some of the maps for a game that's tacked on to another game.
Yeah.
It just feels so
Slimy.
dirty. It feels
Yeah.
so dirty, dude. Like, so dirty. You like fucked up my experience with these things, all these weird extra things, and then we have to pay for the extra maps. But such is life. 10 maps is great. It's really great to be back in wet work. It's really great to be back in fucking, shipment.
Yep.
So I enjoy
Nice.
it. Yeah.
Benny.
So I've really only played 2 games this week, and 3, including Monster Hunter.
Mm.
You guys talked a lot about Monster Hunter, and I talked with you some last
Yeah.
time.
Like the past couple weeks.
Yeah, so I'm not going to delve into that, except for it's just a lot for me to get my head around. I have so little time to play games that when I play them, sometimes it's hard for me to... I'm really good with like deep stories, but deep mechanics are harder for me on a console. On a PC, it's easier for me, but still. Fortnite, which we've talked a ton about already, so I won't delve into more to that, but that's been... I've spent a few hours on that this week, so that's been a lot of fun. And then I'm on I think the last section of the third playthrough of Nier.
Hell yeah.
I think it's the last. It's judging by the story, it's pretty sticking close to the last. So I'm looking forward to finishing that one, wrapping
There you
that one
go.
up finally. It's been like 6
Forever.
months or something.
Yeah.
I've
You've
been
been playing a
playing an hour here, hour there, but
Yeah.
Brandon, are you ever gonna play?
Maybe.
I think I've probably got. I think it's probably about 26
Yeah.
hours in. That's not including the times where I died without a save, which why don't they have autosave, and had to play it an hour again, which has probably happened 3 times. So close to 30 so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm excited for you to finish it.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see what the 2 final endings are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. For me, I've been going hard in the paint on Kingdom Hearts
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
because I thought, I have these collections. I bought them because I wanted to play
all
through.
of us with those brand new games this week.
I know, yeah. I thought I got these collections. I want to play them before Kingdom Hearts 3, but not just Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I want to get the side games as well. So I played and beat Kingdom Hearts 1 since last week.
Did you?
Mostly, yeah. I already had a save that was already a couple hours in, so I didn't have to play through the beginning. But I was on like Tarzan, so it's the first main world that you go to. And I totally blitzed through it. I skipped Atlantica because nobody wants to play that.
Atlantis?
I think it's Atlantica.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's been 15 years.
So, no, but I really enjoyed it. It was really cool to go back and play through my favorite game from 2002, and still one of my favorite games ever. And it's interesting because things don't. It's like when you're a kid, like weird dialogue doesn't bother you,
Right.
And like to me as a kid, like Kingdom Hearts, I was like, there's some stuff that's so serious, and I'm so connected to these characters. And I play it now, and I'm like, Sora is just like
A mess.
generic.
Yeah.
Like has no like his emotions are interesting because he's just like he cares about Kairi, but he also has like this weird like bromance / rivalry with Riku, but it doesn't. I don't feel connected in the same way I did before. It's like
Right.
I created that in my head.
Right.
So now I'm on to Kingdom Hearts 2. Already a significant chunk into that. It's so much better than the first one mechanically. I'm excited to play through that, then play through Birth by Sleep, which some people say is the best Kingdom Hearts game
Yeah.
ever played.
Yeah.
And Dream Drop Distance is also on there. And there's like a new mini Kingdom Hearts thing on the 2.8,
Right.
which I'm interested in. So
I have that collection. I just haven't even got it out of the wrapping yet.
do you have the 1.5 and 2.5?
I do.
Do you have the 2.8?
I do.
Oh, you have both?
I do.
Hell yeah. Nice.
Wait,
Yeah.
Remember on Amazon Prime Day
Yeah.
when everything was super cheap? That's when you got yours too.
That's when I got mine.
I think we got them for like what, $12 or
Dude,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
That 1.5 and 2.5 collection is such a good deal.
Yeah.
Because it
It
has
was like 4 games.
It has Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. It has Birth by Sleep. It has Chain of Memories, which I watched a movie of on YouTube because I wasn't fucking playing that again. And it also has a movie of Recoded, which is a game that does not matter to the series at all. But it's seriously like a shit ton of content for what it costs. So
And you got the edition, the 2.8 edition with the pin and everything. Like
yeah,
that,
I got
didn't you?
just the pin, which is cool.
Nice.
So yeah, that's it. I bought Resident Evil 7 for $25 today. Started to play it in VR, and I was like,
Did you get too scared?
I got
Oh, dude,
I was starting to feel scared, and then I like looked at the clock, and I needed to make dinner. So I was like, "Oh, great, time to make dinner." So
dude, it's so great.
it's so
great.
scary.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap this show up. Ben, I apologize to your wife and your kids because I've held you here longer than I was supposed to.
That's okay.
Will they forgive me? I talked to Egan this morning.
They might forgive you, but they won't forgive me.
I talked to Egan this morning, and he was looking for Holly. Egan
Yeah.
is Ben's little boy, and he was looking for Holly, and I'm like, yeah, she's in the other room. He kind of like looked around, and I'm like, but I'm here. And then he kind of like kept looking around. I was like, am I not good enough for you anymore? He goes, no. I'm like, what the heck?
Then later, some little girls were chasing him around.
Yeah.
And they said, we want to be your friend. We want to be your friend. Come back. And he said no. And Dustin says, you're going to regret that someday. You're gonna be wishing you hadn't done that someday. He's 4 years old, so whatever now.
Yeah.
But.
It's not that he's being rude or being mean. He's like, no, he was looking for Holly. That's it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't good enough for him, and that's fair.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holly is a lot better than me, so in a lot of ways.
I would agree.
So this has been Adventure Mode, your weekly gaming podcast from handsomefandom.com. Make sure you check out the website. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes and leave us a review. Make sure to check out Into the Deep, a PlayStation VR podcast coming at you this Wednesday, available on podcast services and YouTube. Make sure to check it. Check out my Shadow of the Colossus review. I gave it a decent score. Oh, you're going to check out the review, see what I scored it. I was fair.
I pushed you a half a point, I think.
You pushed me half a point. That's true. But yeah, it's a fine game. Check it out. Do I need to plug anything else? Is that it? Is that it for plugs?
That's it.
Boys, thanks for joining me this week. As always, Ben, it's a pleasure to have you on. Brandon, it was something.
Thanks for showing up.
Thanks for showing up.
Let's get hyped for PAX, boys.
Brandon never cancels on me. I cancel on. I don't know if you've ever canceled on me for this show. I've canceled on you.
Yeah, it's been very few.
You're a very VV good boy.
I'm consistent, if literally nothing else.
If nothing else, that's right.
For better or for worse. Thank you.
All right. Until next week, we will see you guys later.